Welcome back to this segment of percentages. After this segment, we will be done with 50% of this chapter. Don't worry, keep watching and you will understand. So previously, we saw how percentage was essentially a ratio or a fraction with denominator 100. That means if I say 25% of the class have pets, what does it mean? Bingo! So you also learn to convert percentages into fractions and decimals. But what if the class had 40 students? Will that still mean that 25 students out of 40 have pets? No, that is wrong. 25% means 25 out of 100. That is 1/4 of the class has pets. So for a class of 40 students, it means 1/4 out of 40 students will have pets. So how many will that be? 1/4 out of 40 means, as we learned in simplification using BODMAS, 1 by 4 into 40 is equal to 10. So 10 students in a class of 40 have pets at home. Now you try to work this out on your own. If I can have 40% of this box of 140 chocolates, how many chocolates should I take? I can have 56 chocolates. Do you want to figure it out together? Okay, 40% of 140 is 40 by 100 of 140. So simplifying this, that's 40 by 100 into 140, that is 4 into 14, that is equal to 56. Now I'm going to ask you a real world question on percentages, the kind that you use in science. You know that composition of air is generally a constant. We have 78% of nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and the remaining consists of other gases like carbon dioxide, argon, etc. Say there's a huge empty tank of volume 100 liters. How much of nitrogen and oxygen is present inside it? Do you want to try it on your own first? Okay, go. The amount of nitrogen is 78%. So in a container of 100 liters, the volume will be 78% of 100 liters. That is 78 by 100 into 100, that is equal to 78 liters. Similarly, the volume of oxygen will be 21% out of 100 liters, which is 21 by 100 into 100, that is 21 liters. Awesome. Now here's another kind of problem we shall tackle. So there's a fruit seller near my house and he wanted to check which fruit he sold the most so that he can order more of it to sell. Do you want to help him out together? So the fruit seller gave me some data. He said he sold 60 out of 100 bananas, 12 out of 60 apples, 45 out of 60 oranges, and 60 out of 120 strawberries. So out of all these fruits, which one was his best sale? Now we cannot compare it just like that. It seems as if the same number of bananas and strawberries were sold, but we cannot be sure that the sales are the same. This is where percentages come in handy. It provides a common denominator to do comparisons like these. Now let's check one by one. If 60 bananas were sold out of 100, what fraction of bananas were sold? That'll be 60 by 100. Let's convert this to percentage format. So that will be 60 by 100 into 100%, that is equal to 60%. Similarly, if 12 out of 60 apples were sold, what percent of apples were sold? Again, that will be 12 by 60 into 100%, that is 12 into 10 by 6, that is 20%. Why don't you calculate how much percent of oranges and strawberries were sold to? Okay, so 75% of oranges were sold and 50% of strawberries were sold. Let's just lay them all out here. Bananas 60%, apples 20%, oranges 75%, and strawberries 50%. So we see that the maximum sale happened for oranges. Surprising, isn't it, considering both bananas and strawberries had 60 of them sold and oranges were just 45. But that's the power of fractions and percentages for you. So now the fruit seller can get more oranges to sell and order a lesser number of apples. Here's another problem to solve. My friend was looking at her expenses from her salary the other day. So her salary is 50,000 rupees, and she found out that she spent 30% of it on rent, and 20% on food, and another 20% on traveling, and 5% of it on taxes, and the rest of it she saves up. Can you find out how much amount she's able to save? Well, now we don't know the exact percent that she can save, that we can convert as a fraction and figure out, but we do know many other things and we can figure it out from these other things. So we know that any percentage is a fraction out of 100. In this case, we have rent as 30%, that is 30 of 100. Food is 20%, that is 20 of 100. Travel is again 20%, that is 20 of 100, and taxes is 5%, that is 5 of 100. So savings will be whatever is remaining out of 100. So can you figure out what the missing portion is? So these five categories should all add up to 100, right? So that means 30 plus 20 plus 20 plus 5 plus savings equal to 100. So the percent that remains for saving is 100 minus 30 plus 20 plus 20 plus 5, that is 100 minus 75, that is 25%. Now you can easily find out the amount she saves. Do you want to do it? Well, that comes up to 12,500 rupees. Did you get the same? Good. So now you know how percentages can be used in everyday life. Next time, we are going to learn some specific cases where percentages are used. Till then, bye bye.